all. So welcome back to for the Love of the Game cricket podcast. So it's been actually a few months, I think. So when since we have done a show because of various reasons. So in between that, we had India winning the T20 World Cup as well, and obviously that last 5 over heroic from Bumrah and the Arshdeep Singh and the overall team. So ironically, or what, our last video was on Jasprit Bumrah. It was a tribute video to him. So you guys can check it out as well. So that's something we did before prior to that. So and overall, so today's episode will mainly be about what's going on around the global cricket world. So we have got a few developments. So we can just start off with. So I have Pranav and Prakash here with me again. So thanks all for joining as well. And so let's start off with the change at the top in the Indian side, like Gautam Gambhir as head coach, new support staff. So maybe Pranav, you can take it. So what are your thoughts on this change and how do you think impacting Indian cricket? Is it a too radical change or you feel this is something which can be helpful? Quite.
I think the change. Before we talk about that, hello everyone, good to be back. Perhaps it's been quite some time. When we last shot about Bumrah, as Saptak mentioned, where we had Omkar Bhai from Cricket Info. But so I think about Gambhir, it's more influenced from the KKR victory um, that happened in the IPL, and a lot of you might not agree with me, but the point here is the sort of influence that he brings when it's about cricket, especially. Uh, I'm very excited for the Border Gavaskar Trophy because
Right.
Gumby likes, being in the skin of the opposition, and I think they're going to play a full strength Australian side. When I say full strength, of course, by no means I'm not disrespecting 2020, 21, but I think this is more like their backyard. So winning that would be an amazing journey. But I'm still not in favor of one coach for all formats, perhaps, because I know Dravid ended on a high, but I think there have been far more lapses in his terms, in terms of trophies. But he's done a lot of good things while he was signing off. Um, but again, I'd have loved to have three different coaches, perhaps, or even two, because one for limited overs, one for Test cricket. Um, and I'm also concerned about the fast bowling battery after
Right.
uh, Shami, Bumrah, Siraj, and maybe Mukesh Kumar or anyone else. I'm pretty excited about Harshit Rana though, but I think there are a few areas which these guys can work on getting the pipeline right. And I'm hearing there's someone who's going to replace Lakshman when he's finishing his stint in NCA this September. So yeah, I think that pool of development of bowlers, because you have key away tours now. After Australia, you go to England before the WTC final. Um, Assuming that we qualify, which is looking very likely because we have, I think, 8 home tests. Is it? No, five home tests and five away
Yeah, something like
tests.
that.
So that's like probably five done, and then remaining five you just enjoy. But yeah, we need the fast bowlers because Shami's missed quite a lot. You saw in the Sri Lanka series where we were struggling to play spin despite spin being our fortress. But uh, yeah, I look forward to the term, but not quite happy with a single coach for all formats.
Okay. So Prakash, like coming to you, so your thoughts on the same GG as coach, and also I would like to point out that like Jay Shah is going to ICC. So how does that impact the say global cricket or Indian cricket? What's your take on that?
I think I'll start with Jay Shah. It's a massive achievement what he's done. Many will say that he is because of his background, his father, and this and that. He's got the post. I don't think that is the case. He's worked very, very hard, and I think he'll bring a lot more money into the game. As soon as he's come in, he's already given a fund of 15 million US for countries to host test matches, which with certain countries where they lose money. So this fund will sort of cover up those places, and it's not enough. He has to come up with more. And he's also proposed that each player will get paid 10,000 US dollars for a game he plays. Um, he's at least even, and this is something he's put for before assuming the chair, which is going to come in. I think it's December 1st. He'll take over. So I am excited about the fact that I think he will do, he'll do a lot of good for cricket, contrary to what a lot of people have been saying in the media, because it's a power grab. It's simply a power grab that where the power is coming to this side. I'll also make a small prediction. I think another thing that will happen in this term will be that they will move the headquarters from Dubai to India, because from what I've heard that there are a lot of problems on how much money they are spending in Dubai. They'll keep the company running in Dubai, but I have a strong feeling they'll bring all the headquarters over here, because you can run it for much more cheaper than what you run it for in a place like Dubai. About Gambhir as a coach, that's as much I can say about Jay Shah. I think he'll do good things. I don't see any reason why he will not succeed. Um, Coming back to Gambhir, I don't think coaches matter that much as they used to, at least in under 19 level. So I don't. I think he'll do a good job, and that's about it. I don't know. The team is
Yeah.
in a good place. I think that's something that is a good thing for us as of now. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, fair point. So regarding Pranav's point regarding the fast bowling battery, especially in the test side, I feel even I have the same concern. So after like Shami Siraj Bumrah, we don't have that someone like an Ishant Sharma in say the yesteryears, someone to bank on. So that's a bit of an area which we need to look on, especially in the test side. But apart from that, though, coming back to some, so what all series we had? We had the India Sri Lanka series, which India kind of lost. So maybe you want to, Pranav, you want to touch on that? Like what went wrong, or should we read too much into it, or it was just like spinning pitches and Van der Sar and all these things? What's your take on that?
I think it's first series of Gigi as a coach.
Right,
I've never heard of him as a head coach for any side. He's been a mentor, but
right,
we can give him some breathing space, perhaps. In terms of the side, I don't think they've done anything different from what they played in the World Cup final, did they? Because it's just Shami not there and Hardik not there and Ashwin not there. That's all. A lot of people are saying yes, Vijay Swal has to make his debut, but I think they'll stick with the same side because England is going to come to India in January for the three-match ODI series, and we'll get a much clearer picture because by then Shami will also be fit. We also have to wait and see where the Champions trophies move to.
right,
Um, I don't see it happening in Sri Lanka given the conditions there during that time. And also, Pakistan has reserved. I think they've moved PSL window to a different space so that they can accommodate Champions Trophy because of the revenue that comes in. And I think, yeah, I don't read too much into the series. It's for me more important was the T20I series because it's the transition phase where Surya took over our much anticipated Hardik Pandya as the captain. And one thing that I liked about that appointment is something that Harsha Bhogle reflected on in one of his videos where he said Hardik has to be fit. And I think that's something that's a clearer message for him to be saying, look, you have to be fit. Um, you have to play more games to be a captain, which is quite understandable because they're concerned about his role and his value about that he brings into the side. So I think overall it's a decent bit of series and congrats to Sri Lanka. In fact, they are playing well in England as well. Of course, they almost rubbed off England in the first test in
right.
Stokes' absence. But yeah, overall, I like Charit Aslanka as a captain. I hope they do well because they need that because they've been in some sort of slump, and and with Jay Surya taking over, the good things are happening. So pretty happy about it.
Yeah. So another series. So Prakash, maybe you can take this. So like it's going on. I think Pakistan Bangladesh Test series. The first Test match was a funny kind of a declaration. Bangladesh won that. It's a historic feat for them. So what do you think is going on with Pakistan cricket team as a side? It's just like since the T20 World Cup and also previous to that. So they have been a side continuously on the decline, though they possess, say, one of the best bowling attacks. I don't believe in that actually. So what's your overall take on this series and the Pakistan side as a whole going on right now?
Look, before I say anything, the news has been speaking about how much Pakistan has fallen. I think it's about time we start talking about how much Bangladesh have climbed in the whole test format.
Yeah, fair
They're
enough.
playing
Yeah,
away from home. I don't think, look, Pakistan is a Pandora's box. I don't want to go there because there are just too many problems. I'll just touch on a few. Shan Masood, their captain, averages 28. That's his career average. I think since he's become captain, his average is worse. He scored a 50 yesterday. I'm watching the game as we speak. Do
okay.
you think in India we'll make a captain like this?
No,
Probably not.
There is no way this will happen. There is no way. They're leave them as a this thing. As I watched this game, even today, you have to give Bangladesh a lot of credit. They were 6 for 26, and right now they're 190 for 8. They've come out of that
correct.
hole they were in, and I think we should be the news and the media should be talking more about Bangladesh rather than how bad Pakistan are doing because conditions are similar. They both play in very very similar conditions. You might even say that Pakistan has better batting conditions compared to Bangladesh. What they did to
Yeah,
them in the first test, they beat them at their own game. Their fast bowlers did better than Pakistan. That is a very, very big deal because Bangladesh are not known. They found a new guy in this Rana. Mehdi Hussain is coming, he's coming of age. Litton Das is batting like a champion again, and Saqib did very well. And a combination of these four, and of course, their opener Shadam Khan, they just took the game away. These five players beat the 11 of Pakistan on their own, which is a which is something that needs to be celebrated. And yeah, that's about that. Pakistan, on the other hand, they are. I don't know what to say. I just don't know what they're beyond repair in so many ways. And I think this is going to be a massive decline. You can now say that it's India, Afghanistan, Bangladesh in second and third place, and then comes, or maybe even Sri Lanka, who's competing for that second place, and then comes Pakistan. It's come down to that standard today. It's the truth. That's about it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a fair point. So another like England series going on. So we had England West Indies and also England Sri Lanka is going on. So Pranav, so how is life after James Anderson looking for England, especially in home and also say away conditions and overall baseball in home conditions, away conditions? We spoke about that in during the India series. We got to discover a few things. But overall, how do you think England as a test team post James Anderson?
I think before I touch this, I just want to touch upon Bangladesh
Sure,
Pakistan series a
sure,
bit
sure.
because what I liked about Bangladesh in the first test was that they produced a result on an absolute highway because you saw 900 runs being scored in the first two innings for fun, but then where they won was actually through the bowlers because I keep saying this that you know batters win you games, but bowlers actually win you tournaments and series. And I
Right.
think here as well, even if you look at the second test that's currently going, the first day was washed out,
Mm.
but they got Pakistan out for 246 despite having a green top. So I think like what Prakash mentioned, they have beaten Pakistan in their own game, and they are next coming to India. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But as for England, I think a big salute to James Anderson. He's been an absolute superstar for England. We'll do a separate video perhaps on him. It's a very long career that he's played, and he also retired for Lancashire recently after picking 6 for 8 or something in his last first
Hmm.
class game.
Right.
So big salute to him. After Anderson, I think the pace bowling battery would actually be tested in the probably India series because uh, the competitors for England, I'm by no means disrespecting West Indies or Sri Lanka, but the competitors for England in this 6 or 5 games that have happened through are actually not as full strength as an Australia, India, or maybe Pakistan in terms of the fast bowling, uh, because they have not been tested as much. And the sort of skill, even in the first test against Sri Lanka, we saw how the pacers were sort of out of the box because Mark Wood suddenly got injured, and if not for those 1 or 2 wickets from Gus Atkinson, you'd have been probably in chasing up a little more total. They'd have been in trouble. So I think Sri Lanka's inexperience played their part because it's a brand new team. It's a very young team. But if you look at just England's bowling, if not for Gus Atkinson, I think it would have been very poor performance because they've got Chris Wokes back, who is a decent fast bowler. He's not a Broad or an Anderson who can penetrate, but he can move the ball both ways. But what England are missing is the sort of aggression that comes through when you're a fast bowling unit. Because what I'm trying to mean by that is, you know, when you have sort of bowlers who can defend low totals or who can get you quick wickets, who can get you wickets in heaps, then baseball approach in batting works. If you're able to understand what I'm trying to say, because if you play risk-free cricket only if you know that your bowlers can actually take that.
Right.
And why is Root scoring hundreds? Because yesterday, England were in a very comfortable position. Why did they want Root to get to that 100? Obviously, one is a personal milestone, but the other angle to it is they wanted those extra runs because there are 6 sessions, or rather, yeah, six and a half sessions, or 7 sessions perhaps, because the last one was almost done because of bad light. So when you have such a long time, you're giving an equal chance to Sri Lankan batters to get through those runs. And in the back of the mind, your bowling unit is not that potent, even though Sri Lanka is inexperienced. But you have that sort of fear, right? So that's why you got those extra runs, and that's not good for England cricket because you need those fast bowlers who can give you quick wickets. Because if you take out Wood now, this attack looks slightly hollow because they've got Ollie Stone, who's kind of works like a bowler. He's not express pace,
Right.
and the only threat there is Gus Atkinson. And if you negotiate him, then it's slightly easier unless the pitch demands. Okay, it's going to turn square. So that is an area which I'd like to look at. Of course, there'll be a lot of fast bowlers in the uh, local division or the county championship. But yeah, I don't think it's going good for England, even though they are winning. But it's not looking great for England. Even in terms of the white ball series that they have announced, they've dropped Pesto and Moeen. Uh, Quite rightly so, because their returns have been quite minimal after the T20 World Cup slump. And yeah, the England cricket, even though looks in a good shape, it is not in terms of the kind of cricket that they want to play and the kind of cricket they are used to play, perhaps.
Yeah. Good point. So I think we are kind of running out of time. So just like we can just one thing I want to point out is that like even Shikhar Dhawan announced his retirement from international cricket and everything. So like kudos to him. He was like gave us very precious moments to remember. We can maybe do a video on him and Anderson separately as well as a tribute kind of a video. We don't have much time here. So, anyways, thanks all for joining on this one. So, it was a long time coming. So, finally, we managed to do one. So, yeah, we will be coming back regularly from now on, trying to uh, keep up to the series and everything going on in the cricket world. Hope you all enjoyed watching this. Do support us and do comment your thoughts on whatever is going on in the cricket world. Your thoughts on Dhawan, Anderson, anyone. So, yeah, thanks all for watching. See ya. Bye.